Welcome to Upticks. I'm Jake Falcon, the founder of Falcon Wealth Advisors and your host of Upticks. Today is our 91st episode, Planning During a Pandemic. Thank you as always for tuning in into our 91st episode of Upticks. If you're watching this on YouTube, as you can see, my hair is getting rather long and somewhat annoying. But if this is the worst thing that I have to deal with during the pandemic, then I'll take it. You have to tune in next week though, because I do have an appointment scheduled. So hopefully that can happen and I can get my hair cut and we can get back on the straight and narrow as far as stylist goes. But again, like I said, if this is the worst thing I got to deal with, I will gladly take it every week. For today's topic, I wanted to talk about planning during a pandemic, and I alluded this a little bit on episode 90 of Upticks, where I talked about before, during, and after, but I wanted to drill in a little bit as to things that we can do now as it pertains to the pandemic. But before I go into the investment side of things, I wanted to talk about your health, which obviously your money means nothing if you don't have your health. And I hope everybody realizes that, is that yes, we're financial planners at Falcon Wealth Advisors. Yes, we care about wealth management and all the things pertaining to that, but we also care very deeply about our clients' well-being and their health. And I just want to encourage you to continue to use common sense when you're going out in public, to cover your face or you're using a mask, use gloves, and don't go out unnecessarily. This too shall pass. We just need to be smart about it, need to be vigilant. And avoid the house parties, as tempting as things may be. It probably makes sense just to make sure that you're washing your hands and you're using good common sense. I also, in Kansas City, the weather is turning quite nicely, so I would encourage you to get outdoors and get some exercise and use this as an opportunity to get healthier, right? To take those walks or exercise, whatever your favorite form may be. Eat nutritious foods, drink plenty of water, and just enjoy being on Earth and being part of it all, as hopefully things pass over and we can get back to some level of normalcy. Now, as far as your investments are concerned, first I want to talk about FP, which we have on the screen, which stands for financial planning. Now is a great time to revisit your financial plan. You have to understand one very important topic, though, is that your projections, if you're looking out 30, 40, 50 years, they may look different than they did 3 months ago. And the reason is the market's pulled back. Now the beauty is things have actually bounced back quite nicely, and while we certainly don't think that we're out of the woods yet, the plans have already started to look better. That's the whole reason we plan, though, is that we can have time to make adjustments. And so it's easy. If if you're a client of Falcon Wealth Advisors, we've been reviewing with our clients just like normal. And if you do want to set up a meeting and not wait for your normal review, certainly give me a call, and we're happy to set that up and make sure that your plan is in order. On a financial budgeting standpoint, it's a really good time to take a look at your budget. I know Rachel and I have been doing that and looking at things that we spend money on, and maybe we're spending a little bit more money on things that we value and less money on things that we don't. I think it's a great exercise to do right now, is to look at your budget. Make sure that you have adequate savings, make sure that the money that you do have that's in excess is being invested appropriately, and that you're setting yourself up to weather this storm efficiently. As far as the investments are concerned, right, we've had a crazy run in the market here. With the market pulling back 30% in a matter of weeks, we diligently rebalanced our clients' accounts. And what I mean by that is we started liquidating bonds that appropriate if a client was out of balance, and we were selling them and buying back into stocks. Well, what happened? Well, the stock market shot back up. And so not only were we able to capitalize on some appreciated bonds potentially, we also were able to buy into other stocks low. And now those stocks have recovered some. And so the client's accounts aren't going to take as long to get caught back up with the market. And that's the whole reason we rebalance. And I'll tell you this, that nobody can predict the future. I wish I could, but again, I can't. And so what we do is we just do what the math tells us. So again, rewinding, at the end of 2019, stocks were high. So we sold stocks and we bought bonds. Well, we had this horrible pullback, this horrible pandemic. Our team got to work, we rolled up our sleeves, and when clients' accounts were out of sync by more than 5%, we sold bonds and we bought stocks. And now the stock market's already bouncing back. Again, I think volatility is here to stay. The market certainly could go back down and retest those lows, but the whole idea is that we were able to pick up more shares of stock for our clients at cheaper prices, and we love doing that. That's when things are on sale, and that's when you want to buy stocks, is when they're low. The important thing to remember here is if you're not doing this, you want to make sure that you have a competent financial advisor that is. And in my opinion, you want to be working with somebody that's a fiduciary. And all that means is we're legally bound to only act in our client's best interest. A broker is somebody that charges commissions. So if you're paying a commission or you're not paying an advisory fee on an account, you want to be wary because you might be charged commissions, and that broker doesn't necessarily have a legal obligation to act in your best interest. You also want to be very careful on your investments right now, and you want to understand which stocks and bonds you own and why you own them. I do not think, again, this is in my opinion, this is a good time to be invested in mutual funds or exchange traded funds, because typically there can be a lack of transparency. So if you don't know which stocks you own, your advisor might not know that either, or they might not know that on a day-to-day basis, which to me is very alarming and should concern you if you're in those types of products. So it's very critical right now, like I said, in my opinion, that we have transparency into the portfolio so we know exactly what's happening on a day-to-day basis. All right, so those are good, two good topics there with the financial planning. It's a good time to review things. Realize that your plan might not look as good as it did a few months ago. That's okay. That's why we review them. And then your investments, they should be actively managed, again, in my opinion right now, and rebalancing should be occurring when the math dictates it. Now for my fun topic, I wanted to talk about my favorite pooch, Einstein. And I'll flash up a picture here of Einstein. And recently I took a pic of him while he was napping next to our fireplace at home. And weirdly, you can see in the picture that he had all of his toys, not all of them, but he had a lot of his toys perfectly lined up. And I joked on Facebook, was he running some crazy mathematical equation, or was this just pure randomness? I guess we'll never know because dogs can't talk, but I thought it was a funny pick opportunity nonetheless. So with that, a humble plug to our social media out there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Certainly if you're watching this on YouTube, we really appreciate it. We're getting more subscribers. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast, we also appreciate that. We will continue to kick out organic content curated directly here from Falcon Wealth Advisors in Kansas City. With that, I'll leave you for this week. Again, I hope all of you remain very healthy and safe. Realize that this too shall pass. And if you have any questions or concerns, or certainly if you know someone that you think could benefit from our services, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email at jake@falconwealthadvisors.com, and we're happy to set up a conversation. Thanks again, and we hope you have a great week.